Lesson 7, Using Context in Reading. Read the entire article, then use whatever context clues there are to figure out the meaning of each italicized word. Write the letter of the correct definition in the blank. Remember, context clues may be found anywhere in the article. The Earth's oceans are colossal, so much bigger than the land area that they cover 70% of the surface of the Earth. They give us food and minerals and are a major constituent in the formation of our weather. The extremes of temperature on Earth would be much greater, and many places would be too hot or too cold for humans without the oceans to act as Earth's thermostat. In some ways, we know more about the stars millions of miles away than we know about the contiguous sea. Why? Partly because oceanography is a comparatively new science. Even though the oceans have been fished and traveled by people for thousands of years, only since World War II have scientists begun carefully to probe the deep parts of the sea to find out what is there. As our supply of fresh water becomes more and more scarce, we have naturally looked to the oceans, the greatest source of water on Earth. But there is so much salt in seawater that it is not fit for human consumption. Scientists have been trying to find ways to turn this saline water into fresh water. Machines for the conversion of water are already at work in certain parts of the world, but their cost is still exorbitant. Science will have to find much cheaper ways to do the job. Possibilities for food abound in the ocean. In addition to the hundreds of varieties of fish, some kinds of seaweed can be eaten. Or plankton could easily be nurtured and harvested as a crop. So far, though, this floating mass of microscopic plants and animals is considered pretty much inedible. It's nutritious enough, containing many proteins, vitamins, and minerals that humans need for survival, but so far no one has been able to figure out how to disguise its awful taste. Number 1, colossal. A, interesting. C, important. A, interesting. B, huge. C, important. D, useful. Number 2, constituent. A, single cause. B, false clue. C, important part. D, extreme. 3, thermostat. A, cooling system. B, heater. C, regulating device. D, fuel supply. Four, contiguous. A, far off. B, deep blue. C, stormy. D, nearby. 5, oceanography. A, water safety program. B, study of the sea. C, formation of waterways. D, method of getting power. 6, probe. A, dream about. B, describe. C, examine. D, bomb. 7, consumption. A, medicine. B, use. C, study. D, waste. Number 8, saline. A, salty. B, dirty. C, very cold. D, unneeded. Number 9, conversion. A, use. B, change. C, drying up. D, manufacture. Number 10, exorbitant. A, cheap. B, unknown. C, sensible. D, much too high. Number 11, abound. A, are few. B, do not exist. C, are many. D, are destroyed. Number 12, plankton. A, tiny sea life. B, wood-like plant. C, game fish. D, kind of mineral. Number 13, nurtured. A, discovered. B, raised. C, examined. D, washed. And number 14, inedible. A, not fit to eat. B, nourishing. C, popular. D, hard to grow.